Welcome to the Holly Hibbard Leadership Podcast, your go-to source for actionable insights, practical advice, and inspiring stories to help you lead with faith-filled purpose at work and at home. If you're looking to equip, empower, and encourage yourself to thrive in an ever-changing world, you're in the right place. I'm Holly Hibbard, and with over 20 years of experience as a science teacher, leadership coach, entrepreneur, and relationship mentor, I understand the challenges and growth opportunities that come with pursuing your passion. Whether you're chasing career goals, taking entrepreneurial leaps, or finally reaching for those long postponed ambitions, I'm here to help. So let's get comfortable having uncomfortable conversations and explore ways you can lead your family, lead your life, and find your calling with intention and faith. Hey friends, welcome back to the show. Today is a very exciting moment for me because this is my 50th episode of the Holly Hibbard Leadership Podcast. Now, it's actually not the 50th episode of the Leadership Podcast, but it is my 50th podcast episode that I have published since I started this journey a couple of years ago. I have faced so many seasons of the unexpected and led to inconsistency, but also inconsistency because inconsistency. So how appropriate would it be today for me to talk with you about people don't want to hear about your mistakes until ... I think some of this I might relate back to the podcast and even my consistency and then inconsistency when it comes to showing up on social media in video form, podcast form, teaching form, all those things over the years and where that comes from. But let's talk about, when do mistakes and sharing those mistakes matter? And when should you just take your mistakes and shove them in your back pocket and hope and pray that nobody ever learns of it? Funny thing is that when we think about the people in our life that do inspire us the most, or people we look up to, people we admire, oftentimes I hear people use the word resilient to describe those people. These are folks who have been through moments of adversity, who have faced extreme challenges with grace, dignity, people who have fought the good fight, let's say. And resilience is built through those challenges. It is a refining by fire. And it doesn't mean that when we are going through those really tough seasons that we are mistake-free because we're tough and we're handling things. No, absolutely not. Similar to when we are in good seasons of our life, it doesn't guarantee that we're not making mistakes then either. So if resilient people are people that we admire, look up to, aspire to be in some way, well, don't we want to learn about their mistakes? But then again, maybe we don't. Because if you learn that your hero or people you look up to are not perfect, or let's say they share a mistake that, just rubs you exactly the wrong way or crosses a line or gives you a perception of them that you've never had before, now you run the risk of tarnishing your point of view with this person. So a lot of this is, my episode today rather, is inspired by Simone Biles. Simone Biles, the Olympic gymnast, United States of America Olympian, now a gold medalist in the 2024 Olympics, made really major headlines in 2021 Summer Tokyo Olympics when she was doing part of her routine. And when she was mid-air, her body and her brain, not legit her brain, but her mind and her experience disconnected in some way. And it created a sense of, disconnectedness. I don't know if it was dizziness, but the way she describes it is I think she said that she felt that she didn't have the control over her body in the way that she could move, in the way that she had trained it for many, many, many years to do so. And it was scary. And she acknowledged that her emotional state was impacting her ability to perform, but more so her ability just to function in her body. And she knew, because of the extremity, what's the right word here? Because her routines are so incredible and there's so much risk with those routines already, that for her to not be able to anchor her mind with her body was really dangerous. And so Simone Biles, being in the Olympics at this time, or just about to be, I can't recall, steps away. And social media went bananas. They put her down. They called her un-American. They said that she was a quitter. And in this example, this is not necessarily a mistake. And oopsie, this was a medical situation that she was going through. But perhaps at the time, she may have questioned, and I don't know because I don't know the ins and outs of this story just yet. I know the gist of it, I think. She was likely questioning if it was a mistake or not to admit to the world and the audience that followed her and the people who looked up to her, folks who saw her as a hard worker, resilient, successful, a champion. Maybe it was a mistake to talk about stepping away, or to give them a reason for why she felt she had to step away and why that was in her best interest, despite it not being in the best interest, let's say, of the United States gymnastics team, or in the best interest of her fan base, or in the best interest of the sponsorship deals she was likely acquiring and going to continue to acquire. That was a massive risk that she took. And so at the moment, nobody wants to hear about, well, maybe you shouldn't have said it. You already said it. It's too late. More and more and more judgment came upon this person. So now, as she is now a gold medal Olympian in the 2024 Summer Gymnastics Olympics, people look back on 2021 Simone Biles and say, wow, she's so resilient. She was so courageous. She put her mental health and her physical health first. Wow, 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 wow. And this brings me to the point of today. People don't want to hear about your mistakes until you blow through the water on the next greatest challenge that you've ever faced and you wildly succeed. Then suddenly your mistakes make you just so awesome. Your mistakes make you heroic. Your mistake, because it was something that you had to fight against. And then you admitted it to people on a massive platform? Like, are you nuts? To put yourself out there like that? And so what happens here, everyone, is there's this hypocrisy in the world between what is the degree that we can admit to others what our mistake is, and the place where we will still be received in a safe way to share what we went through, what we're feeling, what we experienced, if we're still over it yet or not, if we've made better on those mistakes, if we've forgiven ourselves for that mistake or these other people, or if we've changed our ways. And it's a fine line. In a world where everybody is using filters and wanting authenticity more than anything. Just give me real. No more fake this. No more filters. This is just who I am. You've seen it. You've read it. You see it on social media. People say this all the time in so many different areas of all ages. But wait a minute. I only want you to be real and authentic, but don't share with me your shortcomings. But don't share with me the mistakes you've made or the embarrassing things that you've done. Because if you share those things with me, now you run the risk that I won't like you or admire you or respect you or look up to you as much. So guys, ladies, friends, uh, how do we handle this situation? And I think the solution here is it's up to each of us in our own individual lives to create relationships and bonds in our families, in our homes, in our workplaces, in our social media accounts, in our other organizations we are around and clubs we're a part of. It's up to each of us individually to create an emotionally safe place where people can talk about their mistakes, where people will share about their mistakes and they won't be met with, I thought you were better than that. And I'm not talking about heinous crimes or anything of that nature. I'm talking about run-of-the-mill, somebody lied, somebody cheated, somebody wasn't showing their best character in any way, shape, or form. Things that are relatively forgivable. We've got to give people the opportunity to show us who they really are. And while they are sharing, give them an environment and an audience, which is you, that makes them know that, all right, I know they're going to listen to me and they might judge me a little bit. This might be hard to hear, but I know that I'm emotionally safe here to share this. I know, even better yet, that this person I'm sharing this with is not going to come back to me later on and use this fact or this experience I'm sharing with them as intel or something they can use as a put down or to rub in my face. People don't want to hear about your mistakes until they're looking for something to be inspired by. Because when we know people have made mistakes and bounced back, now it's resilience. And we love a comeback story. We love resilient people. We want to be resilient people. We want this. But that means we also at the same time need to allow the people we care about most and the people we look up to the opportunity to share about where they went wrong. Not because they owe you anything, because they don't, but because as a community, as people, as families, that is the only way to grow. When we can allow people to feel emotionally safe in our presence, where they can really talk about and ask about and share about anything. And even better yet, when you are that safe zone for them, guess who's going to bounce back even faster? Them. Or if they have already had a comeback moment, you being that safe person for them, that is going to catapult them to the next level of growth. Because you are shifting their entire idea of what existence in the world is like. Oh my goodness, I shared something that was so scary to share. I thought this person was going to look down on me and judge me and scold me and walk away from me. And the exact opposite happened. I am fired up and ready to go. And now what can I go do? That is the impact that you will have on people that are already resilient when you allow them to be open with you about their life and their mistakes and how they got to where they are now. And of course, this is also an invite for you to consider who in your life can you have open and honest conversations about when it comes to mistakes that you've made, when it comes to having a person you can reflect on those mistakes with. And if you want to, create solutions around it. How do we remedy it? Have someone in your corner so that you can bounce back from whatever it is that wasn't working well for you. I hope this was supportive. Again, people don't want to hear about your mistakes until you're the comeback kid, until you're the one that they look up to. And the odds are, if you're listening to this, you probably already are in that role where someone or multiple someones is looking up to, are looking up to you. And how can you take that relationship to just a little more of an authentic place, a little more of a safe, emotional place, a little more real? I know you know what I'm talking about. Drop me a comment on my social or on this episode. You can text the episode. The way to do that is in the show notes. I'm so grateful for you being here on episode number 50. Now I go on to 100. Time to get going. And until next time, I'll talk to you next time. Thanks for listening. I'm high-fiving you right now because I'm so proud of you for putting your personal growth first. Remember, I believe in you, and with faith-filled intention and committed actions, you can lead your life, purpose, and family to wherever you dream possible. If you enjoyed this episode, it would mean so much to me if you'd take 30 seconds to help others discover the show. Leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, share the show with your friends and family, or screenshot this episode to your Instagram stories and tag me at thehollyhibbard. Remember, you're not alone in this journey. I'm always here cheering you on, and until next time, stay curious, remain encouraged, and keep empowering yourself. You're doing better than you think, I promise.